Welcome to KIPS interview series. My name is Noor Ali. I am from the 47 Common Information Group, and we have with us our very own CSS 2022 qualifier, Syed Arsalan, who has been allocated to Office Management Group. So first of all, Arsalan, many congratulations. And my first question to you is that, like, how do you think that? First of all, you must be like really jubilant, excited. But my question is that, like, after going through this rigorous journey, like first the screening MPT, then the written exams, then the psychological, then the interview, and like you have mentioned, like this was your third attempt. So going through this again and again, year by year, like you are a big motivation for others, but like how does it feel right now, and what do you suggest to future aspirants?
The sense of accomplishment, sir, it is unparalleled. Your cherished objective, it is one of the most sought after occupations in Pakistan. So therefore, finally, after 3 years of hard work and persistence, achieving this goal has been one of the most biggest achievement in my professional life so far. It feels excellent. All praises due to Allah.
Okay, so you mentioned about persistence, and rightly said, persistence has always been the key to success for each and every one of us. But like, I think so that the main motive that one can take from you is that you keep on persisting towards your goal. How you keep yourself so much motivated, first of all, and then you kept on your concentration as well towards studies as well, because I have heard that you are doing a full-time job as well. So with a full-time job, you kept your struggles, and by all each and everything included, still you managed to pass this exam, and for 3-4 years dedicated efforts are required. So how did you manage to keep on concentrating, because this is a very big lack that I see in the coming aspirants as well. What is their problem? The problem is that they are unable to focus continuously towards one thing, and like if they have studied for an hour or two and then they said okay, now we are done. But if they can do this for a month, that's it, that's maximum. But to do this for 3 to 4 years, what was your key motivation for that?
So persistence basically lies as the first key ingredient that is required for any competition, including CSS exam. You asked me how I managed to remain focused and motivated throughout this time. Sir, I feel it was not actually the fact that I was trying to chase my objective. I was more focused on competing with myself. My competition was with me, and I had this in mind that I will not leave any stone unturned, so that even if I make it, or in the event I am not able to meet my goal, I would be at peace that I have given my 100%, and that whatever the outcome is, that is from the Almighty, and this is guaranteed that whatever comes after this kind of hard work, one can never be left uncontent or dissatisfied. So alhamdulillah, as they say that work hard and then leave the rest to Almighty. So for all those who want to remain consistent in this efforts, my advice, which I followed throughout myself as well, is to compete with yourself. Make sure you beat yourself in achieving your daily milestones every day. If you are able to do that, there is no objective that cannot be achieved, whether it is qualifying a competitive exam or any other for that matter.
Okay, so very well said, because like you have mentioned that to beat yourself, this is part of self-actualization as well, one of the needs in the business administration part. Now I wanted to mention that what was your key strength? Like, were you the one who used to do a lot of practice? Because like going through topic wise tests, then going through half length, then going through mocks, and to keep on focusing on that, or were you the one like who keeps on reading and then just attempt the paper on the last day? Because the problem which I see with the students over here is that they think that they can just do it by reading, and they don't do a lot of written practice. Whenever I ask them, okay, have you attempted any essay, you can come over here and give it to us, and so that we can evaluate it. So they said, okay sir, it takes around like 3,000 words, it will take a week or two, and then they delay it, keep on delaying it. They do a lot of research. They do it like for weeks and weeks. They can make good outlines as well. But when it comes to like finally coming to the part where you have to write it, 3,000 words, like they stop over there, because like they are unable to write it, they are unable to like keep on focusing over there. So my key question to you is that whether written practice is necessary or like just by going through or reading is sufficient.
Sir, as all of us are aware, this CSS exam, by its nature, it's a multi-dimensional exam. It does not only test your ability to comprehend a subject, it also tests your ability on how you generate a response after you've comprehended that particular topic. So, merely reading would only get you so far. It is not until that you have practiced a lot on how to express that in a written manner, the preparation can never be complete. One part about that. And the other thing is, as you mentioned, that most of the students have a hard time when it comes to practicing a subject such as an essay, 3000 words and all that. My advice to such students is to take it in an incremental manner. Do not write the entire essay in one sitting. Start by writing 500 words if that is the capacity, then increase it to 1000 words. Eventually you should be able to reach that word limit in, let's say, a month time or 2 months time. So you have to try this process incrementally. Do not expect that you'll shine in a subject in the very first day. Again, as I say, one has to make milestones, small milestones to achieve the largest milestone. And sir, I tell you that I was working full time. I had a full time job. I had a family to support. Leaving a job and then preparing was never an option for me. I used to make time out of my office hours. I used to make time during my traveling hours to write what I have been reading about the topics. And I used to attempt past papers whenever I had completed a single topic of any subject, not after I have done the entire subject. So this was a horizontal vertical approach that I adopted, that by the time I had completed the subject, I had also completed all its past paper side by side. So as I said, milestones and competing with yourself by setting up these smaller milestones, whether it's about writing, whether it's about practicing, and of course the baseline comes in reading about all the contents that the subject demands.
So out of the 4 parts of CSS, which one do you think is the toughest? Like I remember back then when you used to come over here in interview sessions, like you used to like take a lot of knowledge from the psychological is a completely ball game after all. First is the written part, because like written is considered one of the toughest, since 12 exams, 6 days, you have to dedicate like 10 hours a daily at least, then you have to go back, study as well. Some people don't sleep at night, like restless nights, and then you have to appear for 2 exams on daily basis to have the same physical and the mental energy and to deliver what you have in your mind. That is something else, because what we see from aspirants is like they would appear in the first exam, on the first day they would think okay, we are done. So then they would think okay, we are done, perhaps we didn't attempt it too well, whether it is too much difficult or whatever it is. So how did you manage to cope up with it?
Sir, every stage of this competitive exam, the manner in which the assessments are held, it has its own unique dynamics and its own unique challenges. You mentioned about the written part. It is undoubtedly the most important part in the entire assessment, and it requires very rigorous schedule. There are 6 hours worth of writing exams. In order to be ready for that kind of physical stamina and that mental endurance that is required, I advise every student, do not put yourself in a comfort zone when you are preparing for that subject. Sir, I tell you, since I was working full time, I hardly had enough time to rest, because once I was free from my work, I used to dedicate myself to my studies. Now I had very little time to rest, but this effectively trained me for those exam days which were very grueling, which required very little sleep and very little time to rest and more time to apply oneself. So when it comes to preparing, one has to design their routine in a way that your rest is somewhat minimal although complete, because having a healthier mind leads to better preparation, but yet that comfort zone should not be there. One has to step out of the comfort zone in order to be fully prepared for the written part. And when it comes to the psychological and interview assessments, they have different challenges. Now one is not required to express those responses in a comprehensive manner in writing it, but in rather how you are able to verbally express that kind of knowledge. So that is a different ball game altogether, but I would certainly say that the written part is the most challenging one when it comes to the assessment of CSS.
Thank you, Arsalan, for your time over here, and you are an inspiration to a lot of aspirants over there who think like, who cannot do this with a full-time job, they leave their job, they go somewhere, they study full-time. So you have set a benchmark for them, and your story is really inspiring, and inshallah we will be in touch and looking forward towards more accomplishments and more engagements with you. Thank you, Arsalan.